At least the Greeks can laugh at themselves and their seeming resistance to any real economic reform. Thessaloniki is Greece's second largest city, a good place to get a first-hand impression of progress so far. Among the primary causes of the crisis were certain deeply rooted customs and habits, and they've got to change. But it's not easy to find someone willing to talk about the ordinary everyday corruption. This man wishes to remain anonymous. I asked him where the corruption is normally found.
The only way to get a doctor to treat you is to bribe him. If you need a permit from a government agency, you have to pay off an official, or you'll just get tangled in a jungle of red tape. If you work in the public sector, you have to buy off somebody. And it's still that way.
Nothing's been done about corruption, says 37-year-old Nikos. And without a payoff, you can't get anywhere around here.
I went to see an official recently for a permit to open a business. He told me there were two possibilities. Either I pay the regular 250 euros and I'd get it someday, or I pay 1,500 euros and I'd have it in a week. Just like that.
On top of the corruption, old boys' networks are paralyzing reform. The established taxi companies, for example, have the business in their pockets with no intention of opening it up to new competitors.
Of course there's pressure to break the monopoly on the taxi business so the fares will go down. But that won't help the customers or the city. I think more competition is pointless. We can hardly live from taxi driving as it is.
On the waterfront is the sailboat and yacht marina. The crisis seems to have had little effect here. At least there was no lack of money for the yearly upkeep of these boats, or theoretically for an overhaul of the public finances. Yanis Jordanidis is certain of that. He's a retired building contractor. He says so many well-to-do cheat on their taxes just like they've always done.
Even if the rich were to be taxed, the banks wouldn't have the capital we need for loans to fund the recovery. Besides, what good would it do to make the wealthy responsible for solving the debt crisis? They've already moved their money out of the country. There's nothing to be had from them.
He himself has always paid whatever taxes he owed, even on his sailboat, he says. Back in the city centre, the burning question is, why have the abuses been allowed to survive these 6 years of crisis? Economic expert Dimitris Maras of the Aristoteles University gives his view.
I have the impression that our politicians are living with the illusion that they can have their cake and eat it too. That they can hold on to the existing system and its habits. Only if the international bankrollers at the IMF, the EU, and the European Central Bank put the pressure on will anything start to change. If not, everything will stay the same.
This view is shared by many Greeks, experts or not.
There can't be any reforms. If we have the same power elite and the same officials, nothing will change. Only the amounts of the bribes have been adjusted because of the crisis. Instead of 1,500, now you'd pay 1,000, for example.
Greece in the spring of 2014, and the crisis goes on.